Tim, I want to ask you about something else you said. It is certainly one of the points of consensus, near consensus, is the party can't chase everything. They have to be selective. What's the second step of that? What's the standard? Is it what Chuck Schumer thinks is important, or is it if it affects the real lives of real people? Which of the thousand things a day should Democrats actually try to bracket and go after?
I just like as a note to that too. I think in this power dynamic, like that makes absolute sense, particularly against Donald Trump, where he is an expert of flooding the zone. Like when you are the opposition party, that's the question you have to ask. I think Democrats. I wish Democrats would be better at in some ways is when we are in power. There is also or find something very contested that we should also do the same thing. We should also flood the zone when appropriate. We don't need to I think we get stuck on like, well, what's the message? What's the theme of the day? We're gonna call our bill "Stop the Steal" too, and that's so clever. Like we obsess over things, whereas Trump doesn't do that. Trump just calls people into the White House, into the Oval Office, and just riffs for 30 minutes. And it's about, that is how the attention economy works right now, right? We are not playing for papers tomorrow morning. That said, Mark, to your question, I think. We did find some grounding when that OMB memo came out. I think it is also a little bit of this is not going to change for Democrats immediately or overnight or in the next week, but probably in the coming months. We find an ability to push back on what is going to be the signature Trump piece of legislation, which is an extension of his tax cuts, which will add $4 trillion to the national debt. And once again, it'll be a giveaway for the richest and potential tax increases for the poor. And who do you have heading this up? You have Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. So I think there's a lot of, we consistently see people get pissed about that when they see a disproportionate amount of a tax cut go to people who are extremely wealthy. I think that juxtaposed with things that are going to get cut, like potentially your Medicaid, like potentially your Head Start programs, like potentially your food stamps, wherever that $80 million could go to help Americans, probably not going to be part of that tax cut. I think there's ground for Democrats there.